but again, I feel like it was more to do with the players of BVB just knowing how to play around the Hecarim and doing so well. But Hecarim going to be picked up here for the jungler for Baguette. I feel like I know who it is.
With in-game names like that, I'm done. You know?
It looks familiar, but I'm trying to remember who it is.
Your guess is just as good as mine. You let me know when you know, but it looks like Kaiser and potentially
Final Wax?
Leona.
It might be Final Wax. See in the chat? I feel like it's Final Wax. I feel like it's Final Wax. Actually, no, it might not be Final Wax. The name looks so familiar that I'm just like, I should know who this is. And yeah, I mean, the symbols definitely put me off guard. I mean, it always puts me off guard, to be fair. I always just, the easiest way to look at it is like, you look at Discord, by the way, if you want to join the EMEA server, you can do by joining the Discord. But I always just click on the names and I know who it is. I know who the players are. I just look at the Discord.
That is a good hack.
It's great.
That is a good hack.
See? Good hack. We love the hacks. I feel like it's... No, I know Patterson is their top laner. I know that. I know who that is. I know Patterson. I know Random is their mid laner. I know they have Mumu and someone support, which I actually don't know who their support is either. Their support might be someone that I know as well. People just need to keep the same names. I don't know.
I told you they need to.
At this point.
It is. It's keeping us on our toes. But look at it again. I think they're just watching the stream, Stu. Because I mean, there's Lilia on the enemy team. I mean, again, 4 games in a row. I don't know.
It's expected. I mean,
it's expected, I guess.
Especially when Viego is banned as well. That's probably the next in line in terms of how strong the junglers are. Ornn pickup is quite interesting though. This might be an Ornn support here for the side of Baguette. Is definitely a very popular pick now in the support role compared to in the Baron lane, which it was very popular before, but now used as more of a supported pick in terms of peeling, in terms of bringing the crowd control. Ornn's a champion that doesn't really need that many resources to get the items that he needs. It's going to be interesting to see if that gets paid in the support, which I'm assuming is most likely. And Akali as well. Again, another champion that was banned in every single game of the last series. They're going to be picked up here most likely in the hands of Random in the mid lane.
Random or Modena. I mean, that's the only reason. That's the only one I can kind of make out that it's actually the player.
How have I only just realized that
it's backwards? Come on, Stu. Come on. You're British. You're meant to know this.
I just realized when you said Modena, I was like, wow, that sounds really familiar to Random. I was like, wait a second, it's just Random back. Okay, what is wrong with these people? It's okay. It's been a long day. I'm getting screwed over as well by players picking weird names and confusing names. And yeah, like Roger Federer. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Patterson is not a tennis player. That's for sure.
He could be.
So I don't know. I mean, Patterson could play tennis. I'm not too sure if he's as good as Roger Federer. I don't think anyone is as good as him, to be fair, in our lifetime. But hey, that's going to be the names as well. And yep, we'll have to see how the rest of the draft plans out. Anyways, Lucian gets picked up here for J1V in the red side. So another Lucian mid lane that we're seeing this time around as well. As we're going to wait for the last pickup here for Baguette. It is going to be the Yasuo, which could mean the Yasuo could go up in the Baron lane again, like we saw in the previous series, and Akali in mid, or they can flex around. I think it depends on what they prefer, what champion they prefer, and also what matchup they prefer at the same time.
Yeah, it's really interesting that we've actually got a few different picks come through. I mean, the majority of the different picks is the Akali, the Ornn, Leona, but everything else is pretty much made its way into the the last bracket, shall I say, in the Showdown. So it's gonna be nice to see a few fresh champions on the Rift rather than seeing the same old. But yeah, the Ornn coming through is going to be brutal going into these engages, especially with Hecarim impaired. And then not only that, you've got the Yasuo with the help of the knockup from the Ornn as well. So that's going to be pretty stellar on the side of the Baguette with Sauerkraut. But then if you look over to for J1V, They've picked up, obviously, the Lucian in the mid lane to go against the Yasuo, which is going to be really interesting. Obviously, Wind Wall's going to definitely stop a few of those projectiles coming through. But then we get the Leona, so those single target lockdowns, for example, on the Akali, if you can catch her, it's going to be great. But then if you miss out on the Leona, you've then got the Camille with the instant lockdown as well. So quite a bit of lockdown potential on the side of 4J1V.
Yes. Going to be very interesting to see how the start of this game goes and what momentum these two teams are going to have coming into this, especially with, I think 4JV winning last weekend would have been definitely something that they would have enjoyed. Obviously, them as a team and also France as a nation as well in terms of Wild Rift, you know, kind of getting that edge over the likes of, you know, Germany and Spain and beating these other very popular countries. So kind of proving that France is the best country here in the EMEA region after a very exciting series and a very exciting tournament we had last weekend, which obviously put them the tickets to this final this weekend, which helps them play for a €5,000 prize pool, which is going to be nice for either one of these teams, whoever wins around this time. But we're just waiting for the game to start. We just have to wait a few minutes to make sure that there's no little stream snipers happening. There's no players trying to look onto the stream and do any sort of shenanigans like that. We are just waiting for things to start up. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how this matchup works again. You know, the Hecarim versus Lilia, we've seen it already in the previous series. The Hecarim got the upper hand in the first two games, and then Lilia got the upper hand in the first two games, and then Hecarim got the upper hand as well. But now with maybe two evenly matched junglers, you know, we have to see. I think BWS is a very strong jungler. Same with UI as well, which I believe it is in with the Hecarim. It will be interesting to see if it's going to be the same sort of scenario or if it's going to be something completely different. I mean, it'll have to depend when we get to the game itself.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a little bit different because obviously these are majoritively French players, and as you said earlier, obviously they did win the Showdown, so really putting the crown onto them being the best region, home of the best players within Wild Rift right now. So again, we could see a little bit of more of a contest on the side of the Hecarim and the Lilia in terms of the players going through with these picks. But again, it's the likes of the dual ADC on the side of 4J1V is going to be really interesting to see how they can make that work, because you kind of got to try and escape the clutches of Akali when she comes through, because again, the only thing that can really shut her down is the Leona and the Camille, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they're not always going to be in the same team fights going through every single time. So Lucian and the Kaiser has got to really watch out for the Akali in those team fights. Again, if they miss out with the Akali, you've got Yasuo as well. So I think there's a little bit of a sticky situation for both of those champions going into this one. But it all depends on how well they do scaling throughout the game. If they scale faster, then Baguette with sauerkraut, then they could be able to just melt down both of those champions before they even get the ability to lock on to both of these ADCs, or if the Leon is actually going to deny quite a few of those engages from the Akali or the Yasuo.
I mean, I think, as you mentioned, you know, the big thing is like if Akali and Yasuo can get onto that back line with the Lucian and the Kai'Sa, then it's going to be extremely difficult, and these two ADCs are going to have to rely on the Leona to be able to help them peel and help them defend. I mean, Lucian has a bit of mobility. Kai'Sa also has a bit of mobility as well. But we'll have to see what happens as we get ready here for game number 1 in this series. Baguette versus 4J1V. Hopefully a closer series this time around, but we'll have to wait and see, as there's already some action happening in the mid lane here with Random against Ismar, and it's exciting to still see Random playing you know, from tournaments here and there. He was saying a while ago how he's kind of, you know, not really playing that much Wild Rift anymore, but it's nice to see him still playing in tournaments and still being involved with the community as well, which is always exciting to see, because he was one of what, you know, everyone's favorite player really when it came to EMEA as a region, when it went to the World Championships as well. He was kind of the player that everyone was excited to see and everyone was excited to play against. So it's nice to see him still around in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, it was back in the heyday of Rick's GG, probably the biggest stan in EU I was for Rick's GG. So Random was definitely one of the players that you kind of looked up to and knew was always going to perform on point as well. So yeah, it is very nice that he still kind of keeps involved with these tournaments. Also, not quite his Baron lane pickup, but he's gone down to the mid lane to have a bit of fun. Still compete with it though. So fair play to him to train a different role for himself, keep himself on his toes, keep himself guessing, keep himself grounded in the competition as well. But Ishmael is actually doing a lot of aggression onto the Yasuo in that mid lane, so really locking down Random on that Yasuo, because again, Lucian just has so much damage, especially going for that empowerment, like you said in one of the games, gives you that early game, a little bit more damage with the early game with that Keystone Ruin. But again, we have, it's just multi-lane action going on right now. The Ornn knocking up both the Leona and the Kaiser as well, but no kills across the board. I feel like there's a kill just waiting to happen, Stu, and it could just be here with Cleek and Baloo's going 2v1 under the turret. Oh, okay, nice switch up for the turret shot, but we're seeing UI get the kill as well, or even the approach onto Kaiser, but it was actually Random that picked up the kill onto the Kaiser.
Yeah, so trade kill in the end. So there is a top lane kill going down, which is still going to benefit the Camille in the end. Being able to go back, get the magic resist boots against the Akali is going to definitely go in his favor, and also the Sheen to get the extra bit of damage. But really nice rotation in the end by Baguette to get that trade in the bot lane as well. The 2 kills, one over to Hecarim, also one over to Yasuo as well. So overall, a trade in favor of Baguette, but an even trade across the map.
Yes, and the gold lead does still go over to BWS. Very slight gold lead, not a lot, but they do have that extra kill, which is probably going to be the main factor of that gold lead going over to them. But it's just looking at those lane differences, even though the gold lead's not that far apart, but still, you can kind of see that Hecarim's kind of outpaced in the Lilia right now within the jungle. So again, we see that, I say that, it's like I've just like manifested that 1v1 between Hecarim and Lilia, but it didn't quite go ahead there. It's just for the case of Vision on the side of Baguette with Sauerkraut with that Spirit Bloom. But again, it's just a very close tit-for-tat match. They are just waiting for the right time to strike on either of these teams. And without those jungle objectives up just quite yet, I don't think we'll see a potential team fight for another few moments.
No, nothing too crazy. All players just going back to the lanes for now, just farming up. You can see the junglers also both farming up as well. Both waiting for their red buffs to spawn so they can just take that away again. See Random playing quite aggressive here in this mid lane, just trying to dash forward, trying to take some positive trades, proc grasp of the Undying as well to try and get that stacking throughout the early game. And overall, it's going pretty well in Baguette's favor so far, about a 1,000 gold lead here. They are trying to get a few kills and they're trying to trade a few kills here and there, but nothing too crazy at the moment. Interested to see how Heste performs on this Leona, because it's a pick that he still plays, but I feel like it doesn't really have the same playmaking potential. It's a bit predictable compared to a champion like Rakan or Set, for example, which can be quite difficult to deal with, but we'll have to wait and see. As it does look like the Yasuo was looking to go towards the top lane for now to try and help towards the Rift Herald. But maybe he just might go into the bot lane for now to try and take the objective, try and take the farm here in the bottom side. It does look like there is a kill in the mid lane. 2 kills actually, kills in the mid lane. The exhaust coming through as well. 3 kills for 4J1V. And that is a really good team fight for them. being able to secure that team fight win and also now secure this Rift Herald. That exhaust coming through on the Akali in the end, making such a big difference.
Yeah, it was beautifully played there by 4J1V, showing that the Team France is not yet quite watered down compared to Baguette with Sauerkraut. As we've said, that the roster has changed quite a lot throughout the time of this game, but we do see that Click goes down there against the Hecarim, so a UI picking up a kill for himself as that Infernal Drake is still up. They need to try and sort of like equalize these jungle objectives because they don't want to allow Baguette with Sauerkraut to get all that first tier of the jungle objectives there, and they do pick up the Infernal Dragons. So if we can see that BWS see the dragons all the way through, they could potentially pick up the Infernal Drake Soul, which is going to be huge for the blue team, especially on the likes of champions like the Akali, Ezreal, as well as the Yasuo in that mid lane. But mid lane turret does fall, however, so again, you're not going to catch random much in that mid lane trying to protect it too much. Just keep those minion waves pushed down there because you've got no back foot there. Your turret's gone. You have to retreat all the way to the second tier, so it's going to be a little bit more precarious for him going into this next round of the game. So well played to 4J1V for getting that with the Rift Herald, but they're still trying with these sideline assaults.
And trying to get some catches in the side lane. You can see on the other side that the Kai'Sa and Leona also playing aggressive towards this Akali, making sure that the Akali can't walk up to the lane, and they're trying to do the same thing in the bottom lane as well. So again, bit of a cross-map play for both of these teams, trying to do their best to just trade in terms of objectives. But for now, it looks like it's just going to be a tower for now. No real kills going either on either side. And as I mentioned, this game is looking a lot more even compared to the first series that we had of today. The gold pretty much even, only 1,000 gold lead for 4J1V thanks to the first tower, and also the extra gold coming in there for the team fights. You're looking at the gold difference at the moment. There's pretty big gold difference in the mid lane, the jungle as well. But other than that, you know, it's kind of gold leads here and there, really. You know, gold lead in the bot lane for Baguette, but then they're losing in the mid lane, the jungle, and even the top lane as well. So I feel like it's still pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sort of clear winner yet, whereas in like the last game, it was kind of like, oh, okay, they're kind of just sort of waiting for the spoils to come through, but there's a 4v1 engaged down in the bot lane onto the Akali there. Lockdown just gets completely nullified because of the flash out from the Akali, so well played by Roger Federa there. The tennis player did fantastic down in that bot lane, but they do manage to pick up the mid lane turret as well as potentially this Baron lane turret. So again, BWS clapping back with the lane priority on their side. So definitely bring in that gold lane and gold difference, to their favor, or having to dash off the wall. But then we do see that Camille goes over to take the kill onto Ornn, so down goes another kill onto the side of 4J1V, and it looks like this Leona's waiting and preparing. We don't want to catch out the Ezreal there. Did they manage to get that blue buff, it seems? I don't think they did. No, yes, Leona got it and then we picked up the temporary one, but then we saw that Lilia got the actual blue buff as well. So not only did they manage to scare away Baguette with Sauerkraut, that was able to pick up the blue buff as well. So a minor victory for 4J1V. I think we'll just keep seeing those little minor victories going forward as they have the gold lead again in their favor. But a nice little response. We do see that Baguette with Sauerkraut do steal something back from them that they stole from themselves. 4J1V stole from them the blue buff from over there, blue buff from over there, tit for tat. This seems to be the way of the game right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, bot tower and top tower exchange, and then bot tower, top tower exchange again. Mid lane towers exchange as well. There are so many exchanges happening across the map at the moment. It seems to be in a bit of trouble here on the Kai'Sa. Uses the flash to get away, but that's the pressure that Ornn can bring in these team fights. No flash now for the Kai'Sa, and no hex flash either as well. So the Kai'Sa needs to play a little bit more defensive this time around. The next objective is coming up in 15 minutes time, which is a 15 second time, not minutes. Geez, that would be a long time. 15 second times. until this next objective, which is going to be the dragon. And Baguette is looking to try and posture around this objective, trying to get the advantage that they want around this objective and what they need as well around this objective, because it feels like they really need to try and take this to try and come back in this game. But the engage comes in onto the Ezreal. Really nice dash and flash to get away there. The Akali looking to dive in. The same with the Hecarim as well. The Leona ultimate comes through here, and it looks like the side of 4J1V are doing really well in this fight. But Random is doing a lot of damage in this backline. A lot of dashing, a lot of movement. The Lilia dodges away from the tornado in the end, but here comes the Ornn from downtown. The Lucian has to flash away. The knockup doesn't land from the Ornn though in the end, and actually only becomes a 1-for-1 trade. But Baguette do pick up the dragon in the end, so they are able to take at least something for their troubles.
Yeah, there was a plenty to unpack there. Obviously, a 1-for-1 trade overall was probably not the most action-packed trade that we was expecting to see around the dragon, but it was just because UI was able to clean up that mountain drake so quickly that Ezreal was basically just being used as bait to sort of say, oh look, I'm over here, don't try and take our dragon, we kind of want that infernal drake soul, because we know that that's going to keep them in the game and sort of tip the scales of this balanced team fights that's going on right now. But I do have to give it over to 4J1V that they were able to sort of lock down that Akali super easy, well, super efficiently, shall I say. Not quite easy, but it is no easy feat to lock down the Akali, but they had to use the Leona, they had to use the Hextech Ultimatum as well, and Camille taking a lot of damage from the Akali is able to escape. Ezreal was really hoping to try and pick off the Camille some more there with that ultimate from across the map, but it just didn't quite come into fruition as the way he wanted it to.
Oh, unfortunately not. And even though it seems like the gold is pretty even amongst the teams, it's definitely Baguette's the ones being more aggressive, the ones actually pushing beyond the river into the enemy territory here and looking like the ones that are a bit more confident in this game. But Random needs to be careful though here in this Baron lane. He could get completely caught out, uses a QSS to save him there. The Ornn comes in, completely misses though. That could have been a really good ultimate there from Ornn to try and turn things around, but looking to try and turn things around anyways. The ulti goes into the Lilia, onto the backline. The TP comes in from the Akali, the dash in onto the backline, onto Lucia, but the exhaust is down, so that means the Akali is not going to do as much damage as what she wants to. And again, there is just one death over to the side of 4J1V. No real crazy win in these team fights that are turning the momentum, that are making sure and guaranteeing the win over to a team. It's still anyone's game as Ezreal aggressively flashing forward, trying to get the kill there onto Baloo's. The team even uses the ultimate over the other side, but now they're completely caught underneath the tower. Both AD carries are on the wrong side of the tower. That's not where they wanted to be, and now they get a convincing win with both the ADC and the mid laner going down, and now they can turn their attention towards the Baron.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of cast a curse there, Stu. You were saying there was no direct win between the two teams, and then BWS was like, hold my baguette, let's show you how it's done. But they do steal the Baron Nashor. It comes through. What a clutch. But are they going to be able to survive this post Baron Nashor fight? And it's a double kill from Camille as well. Can she pick up a triple? Oh, she does as well, onto Random, getting that triple kill. Camille really showing those longer-legged bladed lady, taking the lethality herself onto the likes of Random, UI, and the Akali as well. So this could potentially be an inhibitor down here, because the timer for the next few champions to come back up is about 8 seconds. The minion wave is definitely approaching, and there is that demolish on the Proctor as well, and down goes the inhibitor. So again, massive pressure now for the side of BWS.
What a turnaround. What a steal in the end by the Camille as well. No smite needed for the Camille as the objective. The Baron goes down. That's going to give stats over to side of 4J1V. But now it looks like they're trying to turn their attention towards this dragon. If BWS can take down this dragon, they get the Infernal Soul, which will be a huge damage boost in the end. But no, it doesn't look like they want to go for it in the end. It doesn't even look like they're trying to go for the steal. They don't want to take the risk. They know that if they lose one more team fight, they're probably going to lose the game. So a respectful play there for BWS. They're just going to look to try and farm up and try and get a few more items until the next team fight happens.
I think that's all they really can do here, because 4JV are currently ahead with the kills, with the gold, with the turrets, and they managed to sort of completely get rid of any prospect of trying to get that Infernal Dragon Soul at the end. Hesty's pretty deep in there, but he does status to try and soak up a lot of those abilities from the side of Baguette with Sauerkraut, and this team fight is currently split. They've managed to take down the Akali as well, but Hecarim is still a little bit overextended. Is he going to get out of there? UI manages to get that shield come through, but it's just not going to be enough. He manages to get run down by 4J1V, but that could not be just it. The Mumu is coming back with that double kill on the Ezreal. Hestes is still in there. Camille, but no, Kaiser gets taken down by the Yasuo as well. It's a triple kill for Mumu as Camille has her tail between her legs to get out of there.
What a crazy team fight in the end. Mumu was trying his best to deal as much damage as possible, and he was doing so well around the team fights. He flashes forward, he uses the Quicksilver to stay alive, and he also uses the mobility that he has and the damage that he has to get a few kills. Really well played there by Mumu. After the fight looked really, really dire there for Baguette. It looks like they're going to try and take a tier 2 tower at the moment in this bot lane. They're not going to take that one, but they are going to take the mid lane tower. They do not take an inhibitor. And god blam, this is still anyone's game. Look at the goal difference. We are dead even in kills. We are dead even in gold as well. And this can still be anyone's game. It's going to be one more team fight. The Baron is up in 15 seconds. The Elder is up in 30 seconds. This is actually a much closer game than what we saw in the first series.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it could go the full best of 5 here as well. You are going in onto the Camille, but it's got to be careful. We kind of need these junglers to stay alive because there is only 15 seconds left on the Elder Drake to come up as well. But I really think that that last play from Mumu really put him back into the race there, because before that he would have been on 2-1-6. So now that it's 50k gold ahead of the Kaiser on the side of 4JV, but a little bit of a background assault there for the Hecarim, but gets caught out by the Lilia. So it's a battle of the 4 legs, and it's currently looking like a 3-2 trade on the side of Baguette with Sauerkraut. So they managed to take 3, lose 2, could pick up a 4th here. Ezreal gets another one. So Mumu actually doing a lot more damage now going into this late game with his build currently. And Baluz is only just staying alive because of the movement speed and just being able to, it's just a little bit too hard to lock down here. Yasuo still has his ultimate, but Ezreal's just coming through with these pain games. But luckily for Baluz, he is near the base, but the Nexus is under attack, and it looks like BWS are going to take that first win on the board.
What a close game in the end. The big difference was that backline that we were talking about. In that last team fight, the Kaiser and the Lucian were all by themselves. And hey, what does Akali love to do? She loves to dive into the backline. She dove in onto the Lucian and the Kaiser and got a quick and easy double kill, which completely turned that last team fight. But what an incredible game for both teams. Super back and forth. Super entertaining to watch as well. Look at Mumu's damage in the end. 51,000 damage on this Ezreal. Baloo's also doing a great job on this Lilia, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. But look, the gold was swinging back and forth and back and forth. It was such a fun game in the end to watch. And what a crazy